Gordon Pierce stood still. Me? I would have said something, but he didn't need to. Bathrobe, black socks, steam curling from a white mug. Two women scream from the curb, matching floral dresses, matching rage. One pointed, one clutched the steel post like it owed her money. He didn't blink, he just smiled. Not wide, not cruel, just ready. The dent in the steel caught the sun. So did the glass shards in the grass. Gordon tilted his head, slightly, half his face in light, half in the post shadow. He sipped, they shouted. The war had already started, and he brought coffee. He didn't build the post, his father did. Summer of '79, third heart attack. Didn't tell anyone until after the cement dried. Gordon was 17, held the hose. Watched the man who raised him smooth out the corners with a bent trowel and 2 fingers wrapped in gauze. They didn't speak much, didn't have to. That's why he never replaced it. Even when the HOA suggested uniform mailboxes. Even when it got dented the first time. It wasn't about the mail. It wasn't even about the post. It was about the coin, a 1979 nickel, pushed into the wet cement before it dried, left of center, right where his father tapped twice and whispered something like, "They touch it, they leave teeth marks." Gordon never told that story, not to the board, not to the cops, not even to his wife. Some things weren't meant for telling, they were meant for watching, and he watched. Every tire tread, every scrape, every time those 2 sisters backed up too far, accidentally, and acted like it was his fault. He didn't yell, didn't warn, he just kept track. Quiet men don't keep grudges, they keep records. That's why he knew today was coming. He saw it in the way Barbara parked, half on his lawn, in how Nancy laughed louder when she thought no one was listening, in the dent, not center but left, where the nickel would be. He looked at that spot now, still warm from the sun, still holding. "You still down there, old man?" They finally bit. The smile came back. Not for them, for the coin. The post didn't move, but something just shifted. And from that point on, it wasn't about the damage. It was about what they just made real. It showed up on a Tuesday. No knock, no name, just tape. A sheet of white plastic, laminated against the sun, flapping slightly in the breeze, dead center on the steel post. Black text, bolded, non-compliant mailbox, must replace with HOA-approved model. Deadline, 7 days. No citation, no code, no initials at the bottom. Gordon stood in front of it. Didn't touch it right away, didn't even squint. He read, folded it, slid it into the chest pocket of his work shirt. Then he looked across the street. Slowly, the same floral dresses, the same SUV with the dent still catching light. One sister holding her phone just a bit too upright, the other sipping something pink through a metal straw. They didn't wave, they didn't need to. He knew who sent it. They knew he knew. That was the point. It wasn't personal, it was procedural. The most dangerous kind of threat. No emotion, no context, just paper with a deadline. He walked back inside, closed the door without looking back. Inside the folded sheet, near the bottom, failure to comply may result in enforcement under HOA Section 18C. He smiled at that part. FERF 18C didn't apply to anything built before the year 2000. And the concrete slab under that post, dated '79, same as the coin. It wasn't a warning, it was an admission. They'd just stepped out of bounds, in writing. He didn't celebrate, he didn't even sit down. He walked to the drawer in the hallway, opened the 3rd folder, slipped the laminated paper in, behind. Water bills, lawn complaints, a blurry screenshot of a tire angled wrong. Above it all, a sticky note in clean handwriting. They start on paper. So do I. He closed the drawer, exhaled once. From that moment on, the countdown wasn't his. It was theirs. Sometimes it's not the shouting that sticks. It's the quiet moves no one saw coming. If you've ever let something slide, just to see how far they'd push. Yeah, I've been there too. Leave your thought below, or stay. There's more to this kind of silence than people think. The whole street heard the hit. Metal on metal, sharp, ugly, final. But only one camera caught it, mounted just above the mailbox, tucked behind a vine that never grew right, No blinking light, no warning, just a silent eye, and a full frame of the moment Nancy's bumper hit the post. Again. Gordon didn't come out. Not right away. By the time he opened the door, they were already yelling, hands flying, blaming shadows, claiming he parked the mailbox too close to the sidewalk, claiming intentional obstruction. He didn't respond, just walked to the post, bent down, picked up the same corner of her license plate that had come clean off. He held it for 2 seconds, then placed it neatly on top of the mailbox. No words, no face. He turned, walked back inside, closed the door. Behind it, in the hallway drawer, he pulled the folder. Label, 7 days. Inside, the laminated warning, a printed map of property lines, HOA, bylaws, highlighted, and now, a USB drive. He clicked open the feed, scanned the timeline, stopped at 11:07 a.m., zoomed in. Angle, 37 degrees, impact clear. Nancy's face visible. Barbara in the passenger seat, holding her phone, filming it all like they'd just won something. He labeled the file, Collision July 10/11/07 AMEXTCAMA. He backed it up twice. Later that day, he stepped outside. In his hand, a fresh vinyl strip. He pressed it against the steel, firm, centered, right above the dent. The new label read, Steel Post, Impact Certified, Law 42-03. He smoothed it out once, stood back. Let it catch the sun. A boy walked past with his father, stopped, pointed. Dad, why didn't it break? The father didn't answer, just looked across the street at the SUV with its hood still popped open. Gordon didn't move, didn't smile this time either. The boy turned back once more, looked at Gordon, then the post, then kept walking. Behind him, the camera blinked, just once, as if nodding back. Trap 1 wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It had everything it needed already. The community room was too bright. Plastic chairs, lukewarm coffee, HOA packet on every seat. Nancy spoke first, loud, deliberate, about safety, standards, neighborhood values. Barbara raised her hand halfway through, cut in, talked over 2 board members, said something about old men and their concrete toys. Gordon didn't flinch, didn't interrupt. He waited until the noise thinned out, until the chairs stopped creaking. Then he stood, walked forward, placed his cup gently on the edge of the table, where steam could still rise, and said one line. So, just to clarify, we're all acknowledging that a beige SUV struck the steel post on July 10th at 11:07 a.m.? Silence. Long, held, dense. Nancy blinked. Barbara looked down. Someone at the back coughed. No one answered. Gordon didn't press. Instead, he reached into his folder, pulled out 1 page, held it up just once. Subject line printed clean. Formal documentation of impact. Mailbox. Incident July 10th. Sent 3 days earlier to the HOA board. CC'd to all residents. No replies, not one. He didn't say that out loud, just let the page hover, then set it down. Nancy exploded. I can park wherever I want. This isn't about your dumb mailbox. The words echoed, too loud for the room, too raw. A woman in the corner, one of the neutral ones, slid her phone from her purse, tapped record, didn't speak. Barbara whispered something. Nancy waved her off. Across the room, someone shook their head. Then, quietly, a familiar nod. The female officer who had once stood near Gordon's lawn. Present again. No badge this time, just attending. But she heard the question, saw the reactions. And when she nodded, it wasn't approval. It was confirmation. Later, no one would remember Gordon raising his voice. Only the moment he asked a question and made the whole room say yes without saying it. That was the second blow. Sharp, quiet, public. The third came hidden inside the second, in the form of a room full of witnesses now tied to a timestamp. The kind of moment that can't be unsaid or unrecorded. Barbara laughed first, sharp, nervous. Steel mailbox, please. No one certifies those things. Nancy followed. You think insurance is going to cover damage to that thing? He poured it himself. Then the man in the navy polo, HOA board, cleared his throat, held up a printout, didn't smile. This email was received July 2nd, he said. Subject line, mailbox upgrade notice, safety compliance. Barbara's face dropped. Nancy didn't move. The room shifted, subtle, but real. The woman with the phone was still recording. Someone behind her muttered, 8 days before the hit. Gordon stayed seated, 2 hands on the cup, steam still faint off the rim. The board member read aloud, attached, impact certified mailbox design, installation date, receipt from C Concrete, HOA signature, mine, apparently. A beat. Then the officer in plain clothes spoke. So, this was approved? He nodded. Certified under law 42-03, checked, logged, and documented. Barbara stood up. Wait, what law? What even is that? No one told us. The woman in the corner, the one who used to wave at everyone, finally spoke. You were CC'd. I just pulled it up. She held out her phone, screen glowing. Nancy's name, clear in the thread. Nancy turned to the door, stopped, turned back, said it like a punch. No one reads those damn emails anyway. No one answered. No one needed to. The silence was dense now, final, like the moment right after a gavel drops. Gordon sipped, looked down into the mug, tilted it once. Empty. He still hadn't spoken, not since his one question. The room had spoken for him. Trap 4, the certified law, had already snapped shut. Trap 5, the public shift, followed behind it like a quiet door closing. And just like that, they weren't loud anymore. Saturday morning. No wind, just a breath of it. Enough to move the grass, not enough to matter. Gordon knelt, both knees to the dirt. The wood plaque rested in his lap, the one with his father's name carved into it. He brushed it clean, not rushed. Used the edge of his sleeve, same one stained with coffee from days ago. Then, with one hand steadying the post, he nailed it back in. Not perfectly. The bottom right corner still hung a little crooked. He looked at it for a moment, then let it be. No one spoke from the porches, but they were watching. Some with arms crossed, some with heads tilted. The steel post stood silent, unmoved, still dented, right where the SUV hit. And beside it, like it had been waiting all along, a neighborhood dog padded over. The mutt Nancy used to scream at for sniffing her tires. It sniffed the shattered glass, now half buried in the grass, then circled once and laid down. Didn't bark, didn't move, just stayed. Gordon didn't pet it. He didn't need to. A neighbor, the one who used to nod but never speak, stepped from her gate, bent, lifted the wooden stake that had snapped off during the crash. She stood it back in place, pressed the dirt around it with her shoe, and when she looked up, she didn't smile. She just nodded, and that was enough. Gordon stood, brushed off his knees, glanced toward the old fence, the one where his wife had planted purple asters in '83. They were still blooming, wild. Wrong season. He didn't say a word. Nancy's car was gone. Barbara hadn't come outside, and still no one spoke. But everything had already been said. The glass stayed, the dent stayed, so did the crooked edge of the plaque, not out of forgetfulness, but memory. Not everyone wants to win. Some people just want no one to touch what they kept alive for too long. Some people raise their voices, others just raise the standard. The steel post stayed, so did the dent, so did the silence. A week later, rain came. Light. Enough to rinse the dust, not erase the memory. Gordon didn't replace the trampled grass, didn't fix the crooked plaque. He left it, because things that last aren't always perfect. Sometimes what matters is that they've stood. There's a kind of justice that doesn't ask for applause, just presence, a gesture, a cup of coffee that stays warm long enough to witness the fall. The neighbors still walk past slower now, still glance, still remember the sound of that quiet question, the one that undid everything. His father once said, "Don't build for beauty, build so it can take a hit." Somewhere beneath that concrete, a coin still rests, unseen, but it holds the whole weight of the story. Not every wrong needs noise, Not every win needs a winner. There are things that do not need to be fought for, as long as we can maintain our reason and composure.